Say what? Shit Kit Revolution! Alright, welcome back to the Monsanto series. We're going to be talking about Agent Orange now. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Agent Orange because honestly it's a lot like the PCBs, but it's just another instance of what Monsanto did and what they caused, and also what our government and military did, but to a lesser extent because we're focusing on Monsanto. So Agent Orange is a herbicide that was used in the Vietnam War. Monsanto was the main supplier to the military, and I've seen 20 million gallons were sprayed during the 9-year span. I've seen 300 million gallons were sprayed. All that we know is that a crap ton of this stuff was sprayed. Think of this herbicide, really, as PCBs, because some of the same stuff is in it. Dioxin, which is one of the main pollutants and one of the main lethal causes of PCBs, is in Agent Orange. So what they're really doing is spraying this chemical. Everyone knows it's chemical. The military knew it was chemical. Monsanto knew that it was chemical and that it was terrible for people, that it was terrible for the environment, obviously. It's chemical warfare. Don't be surprised by that. Our government is involved in chemical warfare throughout our history. And Monsanto likes to blame the military on this. That's their stance, is that we didn't spray it, we just gave it to the military. You know, well, we had nothing to do after that. Our hands are clean. But they knew what they were going to do. They knew that the concentration that they were giving was 13 times as concentrated as a regular, recommended amount. This is the Monsanto quote from their website about Agent Orange and the Agent Orange situation. Research on Agent Orange has been conducted for decades and continues today. While a causal connection linking Agent Orange to chronic disease in humans has not been established, some governments have made the decision to provide certain medical benefits to veterans and their families, even though there has not been a determination that an individual's health problems was caused by Agent Orange. So they're saying, and this is on their website today, you can look it up, it's still there, that a harmful chemical like dioxin cannot harm people. It has no health effects. I could have told you that. Everything Monsanto does is great. Huh? Yeah, I'll take my bribe now, not later. It's been proven, study after study after study, especially the studies that weren't falsified by the government or by chemical companies like Monsanto. Monsanto stands firmly against fixing and or suppressing any medical study. It causes depression, it causes extreme fatigue, peripheral neuropathies like PCBs. It can cause mental problems like rage. It causes cancer, birth defects, tremors. I mean, how can no health effects be linked to Agent Orange? That is just such a moronic statement to make, and yet that's Monsanto's stance. Hey! Whip up some sort of charity to make us look better. So, fast forward to 1980, and the first class action suit is filed with Agent Orange. So hundreds of pages of toxicology reports and environmental reports from Vietnam where it was sprayed is put in, and it's filed, and it's going to be this huge case. It's going to go to trial. So 4 years later from when it was filed, it's finally about to go to trial, and they're about to pick the jury, actually. Hours before they're about to pick the jury, it suddenly gets settled. So 7 chemical companies were being sued, mostly by vets, the veterans who were exposed to Agent Orange. And Monsanto, of course, was included. And then hours before it's about to, the jury's going to get selected, it gets settled out of court. And all these vets are pissed off because their lawyers totally betrayed them. I'm sure they got a chunk of change for it. I can assure you Monsanto stands firmly against bribing any sort of lawyers or any part of the legal system. What happened was $180 million in compensation was paid. More than 45% was paid by Monsanto. So in 1989, this is 9 years after the suit was filed, they decided how the money was going to be dispersed. Okay? So this is a totally disabled veteran who was proven to be exposed to Agent Orange, and he's totally disabled. So literally, he can't work. He can't really live. He needs help. He needs somebody's care to live, and he will receive a maximum of $12,000. He or she, a maximum of $12,000 throughout 10 years. And if you accept this, you are disqualified from state benefits like welfare, like food stamps, benefits that are better than this. So most of them probably didn't take it because they're forced not to because it's a piece of shit. $12,000 through 10 years. And let's say you're a widow of a veteran who died from Agent Orange. Now it's hard enough to get them to admit that somebody died from Agent Orange because the only side effect that Monsanto and the chemical companies told the military that it caused was a rash. So if somebody didn't have a rash, then they weren't exposed to it. But let's say your husband died from being exposed to Agent Orange. So he comes back and you probably have to take care of him. His health is deteriorating. Maybe he's angry. Maybe he's depressed. You know, your whole life and your loved husband is going down the tubes because of what they did, and he dies. And you know what they give you? You know what the great VA will give you? $3,700 to the widow. That's what she gets. That's what a dead husband is worth, apparently. Someone who served our country. Everybody always talks about serving our country, and I think a lot of people will say, you know, it's wartime, it's justified. We got to do what we have to do to fight for our country. Yeah, salute the flag, baby. Huh. Just a bunch of macho bullshit. No, it's not justified to poison millions of people. Chemical warfare is banned. It's not allowed. And that's what we did. There's no getting around that. That's what we did. Monsanto knew what was going to happen. The military knew what they were doing. So let's talk about the Vietnamese. What happened to them? Obviously there's a lot to go into with them, but just a short little thing. The Vietnamese Red Cross estimates up to 3 million people have health effects that were caused by Agent Orange and dioxin. And 150,000 of that are children with birth defects. We're talking second generation, third generation kids that are still affected today by it. And people who served and have gone back to the States or United Kingdom, wherever they're from, have had children with birth defects. Talking about cleft palates. Talking about club feet. Talking about neurological problems that never develop right. They could be paralyzed for life. They could have sewn digits where their digits never separated in the womb because it disrupts the development. It actually hinders the developing fetus in the womb. And these children are born and they're affected by it for life. And this is the same Agent Orange that hasn't been proven to have health effects, according to Monsanto. So that's just a little bit about Agent Orange. There's a lot more to go into, but it was a lot like the PCB situation in Anniston that I talked about. So I just wanted to give you the overrun of it so you know that it wasn't just a one-time instance. This is a company that is doing it over and over again through their history. And it also shed a little light on our government and the military and what they do, what they cover up, and how they screw over even the most patriotic people like veterans. They screw them over. They don't care. And if you either didn't know about this, or you don't care, or you think that it was justified because it was during war, then the big corporations win. And we lose. And they get to keep on going about killing people, ruining the world. If you don't take the time to care about it, then we're all doomed. It's on you, it's on me to care about this stuff. To take time out of your life and actually care about it and do something about it. It isn't enough anymore just to say, oh yeah, that was awful. That was an awful time. Yeah, it was awful. And there's stuff going on like that today. And there's people that are still being affected by that today. So if you don't do anything about it, then you're worthless. Your opinion is worthless. Even if you do agree that it was bad, it's worthless because it's still happening. There's still horrible things happening in horrible companies, and these big companies that care about money are doing horrible things, and if you don't make the effort to do something, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you think about it. Alright? So that was the Agent Orange video. Stay tuned for the next video on Monsanto. Thank you for watching.
Got my head up in the clouds and my feet stuck